Hello, my name is swissbianco. In this video I will talk about the Victorinox Swiss Army knife tool. This tool is basically used at the factory for work with Swiss Army knives, for take off the scales, for adjust the tension and open and close the blades. I'm gonna show you how that works. It's basically a fixed blade that actually have no edge anymore, so on the edge it's completely dull. Sometimes how it appears, they modify factory seconds of the paring knives or such kind of knives, because the handle is exactly the same and they come in a variety of different versions. Some colors of course with the wood, but you also see this one as a sample has more like a guard. It's a second one like that. Usually they don't have that much of a guard. It's more like this one here. So they come in a really big variety of versions. So it's basically a tool. It's not sharp. You see some are even a bit more pointy than others. Basically you can shape it the way you need it. The one that I use for a couple of years now is this one. That's my personal one that I always use. So first we're gonna take the scales off from this Swiss Army knife. What we do is remove the small parts. So the scales are completely loose. Then we basically take the factory tool and we wedge in between the scale and the Swiss Army knife, and then we just switch it a little bit to the side. The scales can't be used afterwards. It's basically come off like this, and inside you see it's basically like that. You see the snap-on parts that go over the head of the rivet. That is basically destroyed. So if you put it on again, it won't last. It won't hold on pretty good. And actually another detail, you see here how the needle, the pin is in the scales. I did forget to take it out, so we have a good look how that actually is inside the scale there. So don't use the scales anymore that you take off. It's not 100% quality anymore. You need to put on new scales. The other side is exactly the same. Basically go in. I have to take it a bit to me to see where it is. Now I reach around the camera, you see it's basically wedged in between the liner and the scales. You go around, you feel where the rivet is, you press it a little bit. Now the first rivet is off, you go further, there is the second rivet is off. Now we basically can turn it around. You see the first rivet, it's still on, but the other two rivets, it's off. You can take it apart like this if you want. Again, that scales you can't use anymore. So then we have the Swiss Army knife like it is. Now you see the rivets. Usually the tension of the rivet is relative tight. There is not much play, not much wiggle. How tight, it's hard to say. It's basically the the feeling that I have. After a while you just feel it if it's right or not. So this one is pretty good. Now what we're gonna do, as the rivet is over tight, I'm gonna rivet it quick, a bit harder. So that the stuff would be too hard. So what we do is basically wedge the tool between the liner and the Swiss Army knife tool and close it like this. So it gives us a bit of tension the other way to loosen the whole thing up, and then you take it out. Basically you do that once and it's pretty much like it was before, and of course you can do it 2 or 3 times. Again, you just feel it after a while if it's right or not. So it's hard to say how much of a tension it is, but that's one of the adjustments we can make with the Swiss Army knife with this tool. The second is as they check out the blades at the factory, at the final checking that everything is okay, they don't use the fingernails anymore to open it up and close it. They basically go in the tool like this, go basically in with the point on the nail cut out and open the blade like that. It goes really quick. They open it like that, close it again. So I don't do that. I don't have that many to open and close. I still use my nails most of the time. Some of the older wartime Swiss Army knives, they are really hard to open. So again, that tool comes in handy for that kind of knives. Yeah, that pretty much is it about the factory Swiss Army knife tool that we use for take off the scales, for just the tension, and for open and close the blades and tools at the Swiss Army knife.